to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another special message from the Ancient Ones. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, beloveds, all your ways, and that you're standing strong and standing firm in your own truth and preparing for what is coming next. You know, this is something that has been shared with me for many, many years. And then, you know, there's been a lot of prophecies about it. A lot of seers have seen this incredible revival happening across the African continent and across the world. And in fact, the very first person who ever talked to me about this was, you know, back in the day, in a previous life, let me put it like that. I was actually a radio presenter, and just, you know, the way life would have it, I was one of the last people to interview Dr. Miles Monroe. If you are still in the religious psychosis, or if you really want to just expand your thinking, beloveds, Dr. Miles Monroe, his books, his anything you can find on YouTube will really enrich your life. Anyway, and he was taken out by Babylon because he came to Africa on his last mission, and it was literally to hand the torch over. And he came to Kenya. That was his last stop, and he handed over something to our generation that I didn't understand at that time. And he actually said it in the interview. I'll try and see if we can get the audio to add to the end of this, of this video, just so you can hear what happened in that interview. It was absolutely just a life-changing moment. But he's the one who said Africa is going to lead next. We ain't ready. It may not look like it, but we lead next. The leadership is going to the south, and Africa is being handed the spiritual baton. And he talked about this great revival that would happen across the African continent and spread across the world. And the Ancient Ones reminded me of that message again, by the way. As I said, Spirit talks to us through so many ways. If you don't hear Spirit audibly with your own ears, Spirit will put a sign in a billboard that will catch your attention and trigger something in your mind, or someone will send you an email. In my case, actually, a young man from Southern Africa sent me an email saying him and his friends are getting ready because they've been meditating, they've been awakening, and they know that there's a revival coming. That's the only way, where Africa will literally, the melanated people will literally be brought to our knees, and we will call out. We haven't been pushed to that level yet, but beloveds, with everything that's happening with the experiment, trust me, that time is coming. And one thing I'm reminded of, because I don't want to, I always believe if you're going to give any kind of doom or gloom story, make sure that you also provide a solution, provide an action point that the people can take so that we can counter, because nothing is, there are some things that are irreversible, but many things are not set in stone, which is why we also have to do our bit, actually. Because the revival has been prophesied. The Ancient Ones talked about a great revival that's coming, that will come from Mount Zion. As we know, Mount Zion, where I am right now, the foothills of Mount Zion, is the center of the earth, beloveds. And there is some sacred knowledge that is held there. There are some seers that are holding, they're custodians of this knowledge. And literally, you see, anything they create is not by accident. All the rituals that they did in Wakanda, the Black Panther went through, are actually Agikoyo rituals. So you have to ask yourself, why do they always kill our heroes? Stories for other days. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But there is a revival that's coming, beloveds. There is a revival that is coming. And that's why a couple of weeks ago, I actually released a video where it was like, have you taken your position? Are you taking your position? Because, there's a return. Our ancestors have returned. If we're ever going to talk about the return of our Messiah, the Messiah is our ancestors and the Ancient Ones who are here right now. And it's all being orchestrated in the Spirit. Because this Babylon system, that's why you see this Babylon system is going nuts with surveillance, with monitoring, with, if they could read our thoughts, they literally would want to. But, there's a spiritual, everything is being set in place, beloveds. because this is like the quiet before the storm. That's why I'm saying get your family out of the cities, secure your food, secure your water, beloveds, and just secure your security, secure yourselves. Make sure you're getting into your spiritual practice, and your spiritual life is deeper than your physical life. Those are the times. But there is a revival coming. But in order for that revival to happen, as you know, they say we're a stiff-necked people. In order for that revival to happen, beloveds, the African people will have to be brought to their knees. And that's why before I get into, what's going to happen before that, this is why I wanted to give this word of encouragement. There is a solution for everything. And that should encourage people to go participate in the experiment or whatever, but there is a solution for everything. Because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, which means the spirit and the mind can overcome anything that is happening physically, absolutely anything. And I think you need to hold on to that. But you see, beloveds, we are going to enter a season and time when we're going to witness a lot of our people departing, a lot of our people leaving. And in that time, because many have participated in the experiment, etc., etc., and it is a poison. And in that time, and there's going to be a lot of, because, you have to break what's there in order to build anew. So that we're going, and when people start to recognize what has been done to them, not just now, but in the past, there's going to be all kinds of revolts and revolutions, like what we're seeing in Swaziland. And some will be triggered by a foreign hand trying to destabilize, leaders that aren't bowing. And some will be by the youth. And so many young people are getting themselves together, getting themselves in groups. They're ready. But a revival is coming, beloveds, because I told you, the war is not physical, it's spiritual. And as spiritual beings having a human experience, if we come together spiritually and focus our victory in our spirit, in our spiritual dimension, it will totally change everything. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to a special message from the Ancient Ones. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. And, first of all, let me give a special shout out to every single person that supports us on Patreon and everyone who has sent us a love donation through, PayPal. We appreciate, love you so, so much. And just for everyone who has subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and share. And I really just pray that you're making the necessary steps and adjustments, beloveds, because it is like the lull before the storm. And it's like the best of times and the worst of times, because just as many, many people are falling into the experiment and taking the mark of the beast, just as many people are awakening to the lies of the world, beloveds. And there will be, the message that the Ancient Ones wanted me to bring today is that there will be a great global revival that will start from right here at the foothills of Mount Zion. As I said before the break, there's a solution for everything. But in order for us to reach that solution, we have to be pushed, as they say, we're a stiff-necked people. We have to be pushed to a certain level where we stop looking and stop making excuses about how bad things are, have gotten. And so things have to get. We're the ones who have chosen this path, beloveds. There are so many times we could have come together. There are so many times we could have been united. Yes, there were wolves among the sheep whose mission, the Babylonians, was just to divide and conquer and confuse and manipulate and, put in fear, etc., etc. And they've gotten the minds of a lot of our people. And the devil energy, the devil energy, beloveds, the spirit of what we call Satan, if you want to, the wicked one, because, all these words, I really believe nearly everything is back to front and upside down. But, the wicked one who is manipulating this whole thing, they do it through the minds of the weak people among us. And so there will be unfortunately, a great falling. And that's why I keep saying, beloveds, prepare your hearts. Prepare your hearts. And it's not even about the endgame scenario that Babylon has created. That is going to take a lot of people down. But prepare your hearts, beloveds, because it's going to be a roller coaster. And, we keep meditating and chanting that the revival comes sooner. And that so many people won't be lost. Because things are about to get real, and I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to fearmonger, but things are about to get real, beloveds. But just know, as you see them get real, just know that there's a solution for everything, and that there will be a great revival of the African spirit, where we will just come together and rise. And already it's starting to take shape, because we're almost hitting that tipping point of enough people who know what's up, who know what's been going on. And that's why it's so important, beloveds, to share the spiritual channels, the truth channels, not the news and the Babylon stories. Those don't matter right now. Who cares? It doesn't matter anymore. Don't let Babylon pull you into that. Because Babylon has fallen. It is our people who are keeping Babylon alive right now with the power of their minds. And they will keep you there by releasing those annual slave movies, by shooting the unarmed black man, black woman, black child, by telling you how China is invading Africa and this is happening and that is happening and they're trying to extend, by keeping us in that. And they laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh, because they know our mind is creating our reality. So if they're constantly telling us what our people are doing, and so many people share it with me. Oh my God, China's doing this in Africa. This is happening. That is happening. And it's just like, you are part of the problem, because you are feeding the beast. You are feeding the red dragon with your words and your defeatist mentality. But the revival is coming. And that's why I say it is so crucial right now to prepare yourselves for that by opening up your minds and releasing the lie. Even just meditating and asking the Spirit to show you the lie. Your spiritual team will move into action. I actually got an email from someone who was like, when you started talking about the feminine and the female Messiah, I pulled back. But, my spiritual team has been revealing that everything you've been saying is true. Like, beloveds, we're beyond debating. We're beyond that. You have to now get the info, get keys. What you need is keys. Because you need to get to the highest floor. Some of you are in the basement, beloveds. You're down there. And you need to get to the highest floor you can before the flood comes in. And the only way you get up is by opening the doors to your mind. And the only way you open the doors to your mind is through keys. Keys that reveal this was a lie. Keys that reveal the truth behind your ancestors. Keys that download information from spirit. Because the battle now is not physical, it's mental and spiritual. And that's what our ancestors want to help us with. And we've been put into a place of such a low self-esteem that we even fear to hope and to dream, beloveds. So the rescue that is happening, it's a spiritual rescue right now. The Savior of your soul is back, because the Savior of your soul is here. The key is to open your mind, to open the door to your mind, to open that first door and get yourself out of this mental maze before it's too late, so that you can enjoy the revival. But stand firm and stand strong, beloveds. What will it take for us as an African people to reach that tipping point where revival happens? It's been prophesied, it's been spoken about. I even used to talk about it when I was in my religious psychosis in my prophetic Sundays. The great revival is coming, and the great revival will be led by women, beloveds, and men as well. But don't be surprised, because of balance, energy, and everything. But don't be surprised to see women taking the leading role. Because as I said, it's only the feminine power that can subdue this distorted masculine energy that is tied to conquer the world. The masculine energy of this world must contain and protect, contain the enemy and protect the feminine so that the feminine can come in and do what needs to happen. And it's not about fighting anyone. It's about awakening our people, beloveds. We need to focus less on them and focus more on us, because we are it. We are the chosen ones. We are the great ones. We are the original ones. We are the many, many wonderful things. Tuko pamoja.